with Manchester United, but it kind of touches upon, well, at least one of your teams is Alejandro Garnacho. There's talk that he will go for somewhere in the region of 60 to 70 million. Chelsea's still with the most likely destination, according to Fabrizio, but Tottenham and Aston Villa also now showing interest in the man. Where do you think he's going to end up, boys?
That man has got Crystal Palace. No, that man has got Nottingham Forest written all over him when they sell Elanga for 50 mil. That's not a bad shout, you know. He's just not good. Like the only reason I'd let Chelsea sign him was if he was available for 30 mil. 20 mil, 30 mil. You know what? I could stomach it. But 70, you're having a laugh. You don't even want to be there. You don't even want him to be there. Amram said, leave, don't come back.
Amram said, you best hope there's a club that wants you. It wasn't even like, we're going to have to let you go. It was like there is no one at this club who wants you. And I don't think there's many clubs out there that want you, so you best hope that there's someone there.
Exactly. He's going to be in an under-18 squad if he's not careful. So why on earth am I going to be paying 70 mil? There's no way on this earth, bro.
If it's your though.
No, it's not. No,
he's homegrown. He's fast.
No.
He fits the age profile for Chelsea.
There is breaking news, though. Sorry, guys. Sorry. There's breaking news from L'Equipe, very credible French outlet. Have said Chelsea's officials have made a move for Malik Fofana. £42 million is the asking price from Lyon. He's the 20-year-old winger. Malik Fofana came on very dangerous against Manchester United. Talk that Chelsea from L'Equipe, who are very credible with French news, that is who Chelsea may make a move for. So potentially Gittins, potentially Malik, maybe both. Another young player. I mean, Garnacho certainly fits the ballpark, though. He's not on massive wages, only 50 grand a week. He's young. Most of the players you're being linked to at the minute are all still in that 20-year-old range, aren't they?
Yes, but the whole point of our MO is that we try and sign the most promising of these 21-year-olds. Garnacho is not that. He's not, okay? Just because you're 21 years old and you play football, that doesn't mean Chelsea will sign you. No. We're not doing this.
He's got European pedigree.
No, stop it. Because by this logic,
in the European final as well.
I have to then go and sign Dinamo Zagreb's best right back for 20 because he's 21 and he's on 5k a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want him. Yeah, I don't want him. If I've genuinely never heard of the bloke, like he's like I can't. If I type him in FM and I've got to add in an add-on to have him in the game, right? That means I shouldn't sign him.
You're gonna load an extra league and wait a year for it to load in.
League, that I shouldn't sign him. Okay, that whole point is that we sign the elite of the elite. The Andre Santoses of this world. Do you know what I mean? That's the level. Of this world. That's what we're talking about. Garnacho is not that guy. He's not. And what doesn't even make sense is that he's not as good as any of our wingers, yet he'd be signed for more money than all of them.
Whoa. He is.
Oh, yeah, he's got a push. He's got a push.
Oh, my God. Have a day off. He's not better than any of our wingers. He's not.
He's better than Mudryk.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he is.
No. Before Mudryk got caught, he was cooking up something.
Yeah, but you got to remember. I said this to Don the other day. Don't sound like delusional. Me and delusional Don, we were having a mid-off, right, about who's the worst signing out of Højlund and Mudryk. And as I said, Højlund's helped us win trophies, score more goals. And everything he was saying about, but he was turning it round and was doing this and getting better. Yes, he was getting better whilst on performance-enhancing drugs. Like, at the end of the day, it's a madness.
Terry, until I see that B sample, I'm going to believe he's innocent. Because that guy was... Those 45 minutes he gave me against Liverpool, I'll never forget them.
Oh, my God.
It was against James Milner.
I thought I had Hazard back. I'm going to believe in him.
It was against Milner, man. Come on. That's a shame.
Anyway, besides the point, Garnacho doesn't fit what we want to do. So I still don't get the links. I really hope we just sign anybody else but. And Malik Fofana is someone who I'm actually very excited about because I think he's a profile that we don't have in the squad currently. He's a very good dribbler, causes a lot of issues, and I think he can get a lot better.
Sounds like you're describing Garnacho there, Sound like you're describing Garnacho a little bit there, good dribbler, causes problems.
No. Do you know the thing is, I never watch. I don't think I watch Garnacho and go like, that's where I see it. I remember when Chelsea were interested in Anthony Gordon, and I was telling everyone, no, Anthony Gordon, I see it. Because when he's get the ball at his feet, everyone's scared. Everyone's doing this, doing that. The only time people are scared of Garnacho is when it's like the 75th minute and the opposing right back is like 35 and he's got no legs. Like, I'm just like, nobody's scared of Garnacho.
You just basically talk about
of course.
Well, you are. You're scared of getting him. Like, it very much sounds like you are scared of Garnacho.
You know, Terry, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's like a meme of like a believable player. That's what Garnacho is. He's just like, I don't know how to describe it to you, but it's like, he's not unbelievable. He's a believable player.
He's very believable.
He's in this world. He is in this world.
Struck comfort into the heart of defenders.
Yeah, exactly. He's just not. Nothing about Garnacho fills me with like.
We do realise where Garnacho is going, though, don't we?
Napoli.
No, Tottenham. You think Tottenham are gonna look at Grealish? They're gonna go, no, we can't do that. And then Garnacho's price is gonna come down a little bit to like 55, 60. And they're going to go, ooh, Thomas Frank.
No, but they're getting Tell, though, no?
They'll just play Tell up top. Watch him.
They got Solanke up top.
I wouldn't.
This is Daniel Levy getting the chance to buy a Manchester United footballer.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was to happen, because I think the way Levy could look at it this is Levy perspective only. Garnacho, because he's at Man United and he's played for Argentina, this guy has a massive following. This guy would be seen in his eyes as like marquee. We're taking a young talent away from United. The maddest bit is, though, I think he does very well at Tottenham. I think he does very well at Tottenham. The way they're going to play football under Frank, I think he'll do brilliantly and he'll get what he wants. He'll be at a club that kind of matches his ego. Like, Garnacho is almost like the footballing version of a Tottenham. The ego's bigger than the ability and the delivery. And I know that, but it's true. It's true.
I wish Henry was here when he said that.
He should have got here on time then. He's 8 minutes later than he said he would be. Spurs beat us fair and square in that final, and I have to hold that L. But I'm not talking about winning a final against a shit Man United team, right? And they deserve to beat us. I'm talking about they're the only team I've ever seen go on a good opening get a good opening 10 games under a new manager and suddenly start they didn't write the articles, but they pushed we're not Spursy anymore. This is the new Fergie. Every time a player breaks through, it's going to be the new Bale. The level of the way they've got a right to be a little more arrogant this summer because they won a trophy and fair play. But the way I hear Spurs fans, forget me and my club in this, the way I hear him speak to Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans and City fans and Liverpool fans, you would think they were on par in terms of winning in the last 40 years. The point I'm making is they're a big club, Tottenham, but the way they talk is like they're the other team that plays in all white Real Madrid. Garnacho is very similar. He's a very good talent, but I think the way he behaves is as though he thinks he's Cristiano Ronaldo when he isn't at that point. Well, he'll never get to that level in my view. But I think they'd be a good match for each other in terms of the arrogance. I do.
I just think it's going to be a case of they're looking at Heung-min Son's not got much longer left. They need a left-sided player coming in soon. Matthias Tell isn't necessarily that perfectly. Richarlison's probably going to move on. Chance to get a young winger in who can work under a manager like Thomas Frank, who's renowned for developing these young players. He just needs the right environment to get himself figured out in. I think that's the kind of gamble Daniel Levy takes. And then in 2 years' time, we're sitting there going either, he's doing all right for himself, or it's a case of he was never really that good to begin with, and he's shipped off to like Betis on loan, and he hopes to do an Anthony 2.0. He screams Tottenham to me. I wish it was Chelsea, but he just screams Tottenham to me.
I think
especially if they're not getting them Bueno.
It could happen. This here from Marcus. Good afternoon. Good morning from Alberta in Canada. Good morning to yourself, and good afternoon to everybody else around the world. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. The arrogance from a United fan. But this is the thing. we are in the mud right now. We got beat in a final by Tottenham, and I'll take that all on the chin. But I'm not speaking about isolation of 1 year. Football isn't reduced and boiled down to what's happened very recently. I'm talking by and large. Do you know where I get my view that Spurs act above their station? My dad, who's a Tottenham fan, who he just moans about it all the time. It's, oh my God, he's win a couple of games. And it's one of the reasons he stopped going to matches. He said, we win a couple of games. He goes, you'd be in the pub afterwards and everybody would be talking, oh, we're better than this team now. We're doing this now. There was a time back in, I think it was 05 or 06. Spurs started the season and were like 3 or 4 games unbeaten. This is no word of a lie. My dad come home, one of the last games he went to, fuming. It was after the fucking crowd started chanting Invincibles. So I'm getting hooked from my dad, who's at the games, who's been a Spurs fan for 70 years. So it's not about me being an arrogant United fan. It's what I see. We all saw the way that the young Daniels and the Harrys were at the beginning of last season. No other fan base has ever come on here and done that. None.
Terry, you've got to remember, they started better than the Invincibles did.
But
they have more points than the Invincibles after 10 games.
This is the thing. It's like, it's not about me being arrogant as a United fan. It's me reflecting what's been. Of course, there are idiot Man United fans and idiot City fans and idiot fans on all fan bases. And not every Spurs fan fits into that category. I'm just talking about the general consensus. And Spurs right now, they can banter Man United all they want. They beat us in a final. And, you know, up until the next season starts, that's cool. That's fine. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, one of my Spurs mates, he's a really good guy, Dean. Hope you're watching. Hope you're well, mate. A friend from school. He's like, he bantered me about it, had a bit of a laugh, and he sort of stopped. And I said, oh, no banter today. He went, right, in the grand scheme of things, mate. He says, you know, you've won more FA Cups than we've had adult dinners. He goes, let alone everything else. He went, there's only so far I can banter you. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a truth to it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, imagine you're a salesman at work, right? And every year running, we're all salespeople at a company. Every year, David is top salesman. And in 1 month, I beat him. How long can I live on beating him for 1 month when he wins every year? In comparison, that's what I mean by it. There is just an element of just, there's a match there. There's a match. I'm telling you, there really, really is. But give us your views, people, ladies and gentlemen, on that now. Can you say the same thing with expressions around? Just asking. Well, look, listen, expressions would rip me because expressions is one of the best wordsmiths. What's the word? Wordsmiths that I've ever heard in my life. And he would say something funny and everyone would go, oh, cooked. And it would be funny. He's a very, very great content creator. He is hilarious. But again, when the comedic element drops away, in the cold, hard reality, every Spurs fan, they get to keep their players and their everything stays the same. If they could swap my success and their success, and they had to give up this fucking Europa League, they're swapping a heartbeat to have the memories that Man United fans have, that Chelsea fans have, that Arsenal fans have, that Liverpool have, that City have. And you can take the piss out of me and make jokes about me and say I'm old and fat, or I've had I've done this, I've done that, I had a hair transplant. You can rip into me all you want, call me Flowers instead of Flewers, but none of that changes the reality. Do you know what I mean? None of it changes the difference around what I'm saying. And by the way, Expressions is actually one of the least arrogant Tottenham fans you ever meet in your life. He ain't like those other guys. So at the end of the day, there is a truth to it. Hello, Henry. I was just talking about your club cashing a lot of checks, that often having a bigger arrogance than your ability warrants.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much our fan base to a T.
Hey, see, look, it's like I knew.
Everyone thinks we're bigger than we are. Everyone thinks that we're this elite football club, and we've won 2 trophies in 25 years. So I don't really get
got
one.
Beyonce.
Yeah, man.
That's the biggest star we've had in this
stadium. In London, you got the best stadium in London, one of the best stadiums in the UK. You got everything going for you guys, man. Like
they get the boxing, they get the F1, they get the concerts. None of our clubs can say that. I don't have an F1 track at my stadium. I mean, I've got 20.
Hey, Tom, respect. Taylor Swift sang at Anfield, man.
Yeah, but where's our F1 track?
But in terms on a real level, on a real level, Henry, what do you make of the permanent signing of Tell? Happy with that?
I mean, the sample size we've seen of him isn't huge. He's had a few good games for us. Hasn't scored a bundle of goals, but I think they said 35 million euros, which is what, 30 million quid. It's not horrendous business. I mean, when we were first quoted 60 million pound, I was like, you're having a laugh. But I really want Semenyo, and I think this has kind of put that deal to bed. I don't think we're signing 2 left wingers this window. We've also got, Odebear. We've got Son, who was obviously a left winger. But in terms of the business, I mean, he's got a lot to prove, but he's been there 6 months and won a European trophy. So he's sitting there, he's laughing, isn't he? He's just moved to London. He's got a big pay rise. He's going to get consistent game time, but he's got to prove himself now. I think Son will leave, if I'm being brutally honest. And I think he'll probably cement that left wing position with Johnson and Solanke. But Thomas Frank's definitely got his work cut out with that front line. Because
so what you're telling me, Henry, is there's a potential left wing spot opening up, and Tottenham are losing one of their biggest commercial revenues in Heung-min Son.
Mm-hmm.
And just before you got here, we were talking about a certain man who's got a big ego, who's leaving his football club this season, and who Tottenham and Daniel Levy would take in a heartbeat because of, we can fix him. How high you do realize that your club are going to sign Alejandro Garnacho this summer?
It's going to be Tottenham or Arsenal, I think. One of us is going to.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Don't put Arsenal in. Don't try and drag Arsenal into this
player. And I don't think we'll sign Garnacho. I think we'll have. I think the one they want to get was obviously Brian Mbeumo, but now he's going to go to Man United. So the second option is Semenyo, but Semenyo wants Champions League football, so it's probably going to be us, maybe Arsenal. But Garnacho, if we spend 50, 60 million pounds on him, then Daniel Levy needs to resign on the very same day, because that's worse than Richarlison. That'd be the worst signing in terms of value for money in our club's history.
No, I think Richarlison was.
Ability, but he ain't worth 60 million pounds.
No, but Richard had at least had like a record of doing something. Like,
what did he do?
No. He actually, I want to say he scored like 10, 15 goals in a Premier League season. I want to say he's done that.
He has. He's got double digits 3 seasons.